Hello everybody, it's Richard Hart here. I just want to let you know that the Pulsechain.com mainnet has launched and PulseX.com on that mainnet has launched as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We waited a couple years for this and it's finally here.
Hey everybody, woohoo! Welcome, dog to the moon. Hey, we've got a big lineup today. As you see, it's a bit different from what we normally do. We're going to be covering Bitcoin Pulse, of course. Dog on Bitcoin. PulsePredict is rolling over as we speak. I think it's essentially, it's just right now. PulsePredict has time clock has rolled over, and apparently we're going to be getting an update today. So I think it's today. So we're going to double check on that. Hopefully, Wookie, if you can do a refresh on the check there, let us know what PulsePredict's happening with that. It already had a 60-day extension. So hopefully we're going to get some action on that today or this week. It'd be really cool. We're going to be looking at TitanX ecosystem today. We've got 4 new projects on that: FLUX, Element280, Volt, and Hydra. Hydra coming up very, very soon in early September, and Element280, a new one, is coming up in October. Crazy. We're going to get X28 in October as well. It's insane in the membrane. So potentially 3 protocols launching in that time. It's really starting to heat up with TitanX. Like I say, we're going to talk about that today. We're going to have a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. It is Sunday, of course, in the Northern Hemisphere in the USA. It is Monday down under in good old New Zealand, Australia, and in the Pacific Islands. It is a Monday, indeed, midday of Monday, so the end of the day. So UTC time, I think it is. So looking good. Let's get in here. We've got Wookie in the house there. We are a go, says Wookie. Hey, Wookie, always a pleasure. And of course, Richie Robinson in the house there, Hex Token channel member as well, representing. Big shout out to you. Woohoo! Yeah, looking pretty good there. We've got Brendan as well, a TA guru, one of our moderators. Howdy, Superman and family. Hey, Brendan, hope you're doing well. What a week to be a night supporter there in the old rugby league. So big shout out to Brendan. All the best for that. Now, what was I going to say? Should we get into the markets? Should we get straight into it? Let's do it. If you're new to the channels, of course, we're on 3 channels: Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X, over 10,500 subscribers. Big shout out there from Property View. Very cool show. Appreciate that. Get into the chat. Make it lively. If you're new to those 3 channels, if you're watching those 3 channels, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell for future videos. We're pretty much streaming 6 days a week. So get in on that and covering crypto, Pulsechain, and all the other chains as well, pretty much. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I guess that's the crypto part, right? All right, let's get into it, and let's start at the beginning here. We're going to start off with the broad market conditions. So obviously, no stock market today. We'll be covering the stock market tomorrow. Bitcoin knows 64,406. We always know Sunday's kind of a lazy day for crypto, right? Often, sometimes even a sell-off day. Bitcoin's holding up at the moment on the good old Sunday, so not too bad. What time is it in the Los Angeles? Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the evening, I should say, in yesterday. So it's still Sunday, 5 o'clock in the evening. And in New York, it was at 8 o'clock in New York. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. And of course, you guys know the time here. What time's it in the UK? 1 o'clock in the morning today. So they're on Monday in London, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning. There we go. There's a little bit of time clocks there around the world. No update yet for PulsePredict. Okay, we'll be looking out for that. So let's see what happens there. All right, so PulsePredict, of course, is a sports betting there, one of Jacob's projects from Jacob's ecosystem, the number 1 GameFi and DeFi master on Pulsechain and BNB. So let's get in there. We got, everything's slightly down, not too bad though. $2,756 for Ethereum, down, down 2/3%. Not bad though, right? Tron's had a pretty good day in the office, up 4%. 16.6 cents. Matic is down 8% at 52 cents. It's kind of the latest there. Everything else is just down slightly, as you can see in the light pink. As you guys know, we're waiting for the ADA fork, right? The Chang fork as well, with the Hodgkinson. We'll get into that. Let's jump over to Bitcoin. This is our Bitcoin chart. Looks pretty damn good, doesn't it? This is the hourly. Zig, 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 zig. After that big re-rating. Pretty awesome, eh? That went from 61,000 all the way up to 65, so a nice $4,000 move there, and it's consolidated, and here we are, itching up for the beginning of the week. Are we gonna have a super green week? Could be. And of course, we had the election update there with Trump and JFK Well, the Kennedy guy was it Bobby? Is it Bobby? Is that right? Correct me in the chat there if I'm getting that wrong. But that is good news, and maybe the market likes that. We'll see. Certainly going to swing the votes by a couple of percentage points at least, and maybe even more. So yeah, looking pretty good. The old Bitcoin. Let's jump over to the day now. If you hadn't seen, we've got a lot of takedowns in Europe and all over the place trying to take down free speech. This is a disaster, by the way. We don't want the West to move to full-on globalist, socialist authoritarianism. Everybody will, it's a nightmare. So we don't want it, but they're on the move, and that's why I said this election is the most important one. Potentially for the century, because we need somebody in there that's going to rip it all down and give us our freedom back, give the greatest, the West has been the greatest civilization of all time, and freedom is one of those I guess legs or pillars to that. So we've got to protect that. So fingers crossed on that. We got what have we got here? So this is where we're looking at the crypto at the moment. So we've got the yellow line. So the yellow line is the 50-day moving average, and the blue line is the 200-day moving average for Bitcoin. It's on Coinbase, and we had a beautiful break up here. Look at that, beautiful. So we're looking pretty good. And we know that we're in a volatile period, right? August, September. Typically September, and this red line at September month is typically a pullback month. But at the moment, I think we're probably just going to have volatility through there potentially. Maybe even start breaking to the upside. This week we might see that. So if we can get back up over 68, that'd be pretty cool. Let me know, Brennan, what you think in the chat there about that. But so once we get through to September, we could get an interest rate pivot on the 18th September. There, 25 basis points seems to be 2/3 of the market, I think, in that camp. And then, of course, on to the US election on the 5th of November. Honestly, the most important election in the West in the USA and in the West generally for a century. This is going to be history bookmaking. We need it to head in the right direction. We don't want to have people, in the 2180 looking back and go, oh, that was a period of authoritarianism and oppression in the West, just like we saw, we're back in World War, back in the last century, the 20th century. We don't want to have that, and we don't want to live through it either. So that's the other side of it. The other one is the 7th of November is when we get another interest rate pivot. So we could have 3 pivots in the year, and that's going to feed the market, right? Typically, stock market will probably have some sort of pullback. We're hoping that crypto, though, rallies off the back of that. It's kind of where we are at the moment. That's kind of the play. Ethereum as well. Ethereum at the moment, $2,755. That's on the hourly. So we've had a nice little zigzag sideways, underperforming compared to Bitcoin to that degree. Let's have a look at the daily on Ethereum. I did see somebody reckoning that within 5 years that Ethereum would flip Bitcoin in market value, but at the moment I don't see that happening. I think that's a misunderstanding of where the market's going. The second layer protocols, as we know, Optimism, Ethereum, Base Chain, and things like that, are stealing a lot of the activity and volume. We also see a lot of the DGNs actually jumping chains as well. There's a bit of that going on. Maybe they'll jump to Pulsechain, right? Maybe they'll jump to Pulsechain. It's definitely possible when they see those green candles, right? Richard's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, right? So be looking forward to that later on. Maybe once we get the ETH up to 3,700, maybe even before that, right? There's other sources of money, and the other thing is the court case, right? Which is looking really more in favor of Richard Hart. Honestly, that reply to the motion to dismiss look really, really bullish. It's heading all in the right direction for a better outcome. So we shall see how that plays out October through to January next year. So that's kind of the play there. Ethereum, looking good, and more money coming through the ETFs, right? So more money coming through Bitcoin, Ethereum ETF, looking pretty exciting. We might look at that tomorrow, just exactly how far that's going. But anyway, on Ethereum, we've got the 50-day down at $2,900 at the moment, and we've got the 200-day in blue above. So it's the opposite of what we see with Bitcoin, but that's sitting at $3,026, the blue line, the 200-day moving average. So we've got our death cross, but at the moment it's kind of looking like that will be short-lived. This could be short-lived. By the time we get through that poor month in September, we get into October, right? So October is the opposite of September. We get October, right? October, and we've got this interest rate pivot as well in late December 18th, and so we might get this a very short-lived death cross into a nice golden cross heading into Christmas time, where we might good chance of having Bitcoin head to $100,000 Bitcoin, right? That's the map. Exciting times. So looking pretty good about that. Obviously, a U.S. election win for Trump would mean that we've got a pro crypto president. Don't be fooled by the Harris and the Democrats. They are not supporting crypto. They are trying to take away freedom. And of course, Gary Gensler looks like they'll promote him to Treasury Minister, barring something else going on there. So nothing good to come out of that. So onwards and upwards for that. So that's kind of the play. Moving to runes, of course. We're going to have meme coin season on Bitcoin. And of course, the runes protocol launched at the fork of Bitcoin, when the Bitcoin fork. So that's when rune protocols. It's doing very well. It's dominating, as far as last time I checked, about 60 to 70% of the traffic on Bitcoin network, and outdoing has flipped BRC20s, the version 1 of BRC20s. It'll be interesting to see whether version 2, I don't know if it's launched yet or going to be launching soon, whether that will have any impact, but at the moment, runes protocol looking really, really good. And of course, here we can see Dog Go to the Moon. That's the one we're backing for the top meme coin. That is down 3.4% at the moment at 5.6 sats. Market cap up to 360 million. So we've added 60 million with the breakout. So Dog has broken out, is coming back and retested. We're going to look at that in the chart in a minute. Others that are doing pretty well is Ryzik. Ryzik's up 8%. Another good one that does pretty well there. Pups World normally does pretty well, and that is just flat today. $1 billion Cat's another good one there that is up just slightly today. Lobo the Woolpup was down at number 11, now at number 8 again, so back in the top 10 from Lobo, one of my favorite teams. That is down 3% there, and so on. So a little bit of movement there in the top 10 with Rooney up 2.75%. So not too bad there. Let's have a look some for our Trump ones down here a bit further. Let's have a look here. So we're on Magic Eden here, right? Number 1 decks for ordinals and runes. We're just looking down here, just trying to look for this Trump one. Yeah, there's the Trump one there, 31, up 13% today at 2.2. This is probably a nice little speculative buy, the old Donald Trump there. As we come into the election, there is another Trump one that did bypass it at number 25, but I'd probably stick with this the Donald Trump one there. But BTC Trump runes did pass by there. It doesn't seem to be that much action. So you've got to have 24-hour volume, right? You've got to have a consistent volume going through there before you get into that. But that is on Magic Eden. We'll have a quick look at ordinals, which we haven't looked at for a while. But Runestone is that number 1 again by 24-hour volume. So doing 4.6 Bitcoin in volume, so not too bad there, 531 sales. So Runestone there. Remember, it's still got 2 airdrops in it. That is if you had Runestone, you would have got the dog airdrop, right, on Rune. So that's why it's sought after. It's still got 2 airdrops in there. It will probably get dragged up with the dog price, and so will all of Runes, right? If dog does well, in my view, this is my view, of course. If dog does well, then everything gets dragged up, right? Doesn't necessarily have to have by itself. There are other good teams like Ryzik and others that move in their own way, in their own lane, and they do pretty well some days. But I think if dog does break out number 1 meme coin on Bitcoin for the first season ever, that's a crucial thing. Having this technology, a bit like EVM changed last Bitcoin cycle, we got dog this time, so big deal there on Magic Eden number 1. And of course, we're waiting for tier 1 listings, aren't we? We're waiting for tier 1 listings. So let's jump over to the dog chart. We can see this is sort of some of the stuff we're posting in the Strategy Club in our Discord. So if you haven't joined up to that, it's $35 a month. Get in there, folks. We're looking for multi-chain, the top projects that are really going to give us that high probability, relatively low risk, and giant upside. So dog is one of those, right? We can see that we had that big rally, right? We came down. We were down at 0.17 of a penny. We had a big rally almost to 1 cent, and we were just got shy 98 of a penny, just 1 cent. We thought we might get some tier 1 listings here. That didn't happen. We got taken down all the way back down again. You can see we got right down to the bottom again where we started. Now we are climbing back up, and crucially, we had this the linear line here. The bottom line is the linear line. The top line there is the log line in terms of resistance. We finally see the linear line, not really telling us a lot, but the log line wins again, and the log line there, we broke out. And there was our breakout. So we are already broken out, signaling that we will continue to move up. Now, we had this retrace yesterday. So we broke out. We went up to almost 0.4 of a penny. We came back and we tested the support at 3,300 of a penny. And now we're back up. We closed there pretty nicely at 36, almost 3,600 a penny. So really good close. And now we've got a brand new candle here for start to zigzag up there, right? And if we get a tier 1 exchange, you're going to see a God mode candle on there. Let's imagine Binance or something like that. You're going to see some God mode candles. It's going to be pretty epic and mad money to be made there. So that's dog on Bitcoin. So there we go, dog on runes on Bitcoin. That's the way to play. So that's pretty much it at the moment. We can see the founder of that, Leonidas, a huge in the rune space, right? He runs the platform Ord.io. And of course, they're upgrading that. They had raised $2 million to add to the services there. He says, so few of you truly understand how powerful the dog coin on Bitcoin will be, narrative will be to retail during the bull run. And so if we're targeting 100K Bitcoin, if we're getting up to 150, 180 next year on Bitcoin, Mike Lee and a few others have pointed out, then man, it could be crazy there. Dog go to pink, number one meme coin on number one chain, kind of makes sense. Yeah, $2 trillion in value, who knows? So you're not ready for what dog will do. And of course, Leonidas there, absolute fantastic founder, doing a great job, huge followings, and getting great results. So kind of cool. Looking good there for the old dog. Now, to put a context of dog, we're going to have a look at the meme rankings overall. So this is overall meme rankings, and we've got obviously Dogecoin at the top there, $16 billion, up 9.5% for the week, but down 2.4% on the lazy Sunday. Then we're looking down for some others here. Obviously, they're all up quite nicely. Pepe and WIF are all up 25, 38% respectively. We've got some nice movements here. Floki's up 33%. They're all down, obviously, slightly on a couple percentage points on the 24-hour. The big mover this week has been Solana on on Solana, up 88%, down 0.5% at the moment. But man, look at that thing, has been crushing it on the old Popcat on Solana, doing an amazing job. What else is looking pretty good? Obviously, we get down to Dog. Dog is sitting down here, up 25% for the week, so a pretty good performer, down 4.5% at the moment. But I think we're seeing nothing yet for Dog on Bitcoin. This is the number one meme coin here on Bitcoin. So you watch the space on that. We're trying to pick the real winners. They're going to have those big X upsides, 50X, 100X or more. That is the play. So looking very good. A lot more upside on the Dog than, say, Dodge with a $16 billion market, right? And imagine Dog flipping Dogecoin. That's the sort of chances you've got there with that lower base sitting at 360 million at the moment. So looking forward to it, waiting for all those tier ones. Remember, all these other ones have tier one exchanges, and Dog is waiting for its time in the sun. And when it gets those listings, bam, up and away, right? Up and away. All right, so that's kind of the play there at the moment. We've got the market cap at 2.26 trillion. We're down 0.5% on the lazy Sunday, and volume sitting at $52 billion, down 12% on 24-hour there. We've got Bitcoin dominance at 56.3%, Ethereum at 14.7%. That's kind of where we are at the moment on the old crypto markets. That's going to lead us quickly into Pulsechain. Before we do that, though, what day are we on? We're on day 471. We're just wrapping that up. Let's get back into the chat there and say hello to a few people before we get into the Pulsechain. After Pulsechain, we're going to get into the TitanX ecosystem. Those are the two next sections of the live stream. Let's see who else is in there. We've got DJ Hexkin. Love me some Superman, says DJ Hexkin. I appreciate that. And big shout out to you. Hex Token channel member supporter. Big shout out for that. Brendan says September lining up to be a green month and will probably continue the rest of the year. That's Brendan's view. Yeah. Just historically, though, September's been a negative month. But look, the lineup, we're in a Bitcoin halving year. So I definitely think Brendan's scenario could definitely play out. Yeah, I just think like September's the only chance of a weakness. I think October, December definitely super strong. We shall see where we head. At the moment, it's certainly looking better for September. Wookie says, Lobo, let's go. Wolf. Yeah, absolutely. Lobo is a great team out there on runes. All right, let's jump back into it and let's get into the Pulsechain section. Our section number 2, getting into Pulsechain. I need one of those little taglines at the top there where we go through different categories. Anyway, day 471 here on Pulsechain. We've got the price at quadruple 0369. How fun is that? 369, the inflation rate for Hex, down 3.15%, 37% of mean sacrifice price. A great zone for picking up Pulse at the moment. We've got PulseX at quadruple 0194, down 5.5%, 5.25%, sitting just below 20% of the mean sacrifice price. The buy and burn is a 959,750 million. And of course, the total buy and burn 4.75%. We're heading towards 2 milestones there. 1 trillion buy and burn. It's part of the superior tokenomics of the Pulsechain PulseX setup. And we're heading towards 5% on the buy and burn of total public supply. So not too bad there. INC is $1.86, down 5.6%. So it's the biggest loser today, is it? Yeah, it is the biggest loser. It is got how much? The ratio though is 50,500. So still over 50,000. That's really strong. And 3% of that is the pulse price, right? So ratio just gone down slightly there. And the total supply has it been updated? I think it is. Yeah, 40,474. 40,474,000 incentive tokens, and they're emitted from the PulseX V1 farms, right? So you don't earn fees, but you get the farming yield there. Hex is sitting at just under 4,700 of a penny, down 4% today. So it's the second best performer. We often see this setup lately, actually, but when things turn around, we see the PulseX incentive token, being the best performers. At the moment, EHEX is at 1,300 of a penny, so holding there. Combined price of EHEX and PX just under 6/10 of a penny at the moment on that. And of course, a great accumulation. Let's have a look at the charts there. So that's day 471. Let's get into the charts here on the on Pulsechain. So just looking at the overall. So let's do a little bit of a look for there. Let's pull this up. Let's zoom in on that there at the moment. So we're kind of still, back here. So this big red candle back on the 31st of July. That was when the SEC came out. Did the case against Richard Hart, and we're back down in those zones, right? We're kind of back down those levels, which means it's a fantastic zone for accumulation. The RSI on the daily is at 42. We've got specific news, of course. We just had the Richard Hart response to SEC motion, which I think is pretty cool. And I think we had a little bit of news around that from Richard. Let's go and read that quickly. So he said, lawyers upset that the Ninth Circuit denied Fredericks there. He's a attorney litigator, and of course a suit for the SEC to declare that Ethereum is not a security. Good news, the SEC sued a fork of Ethereum and is calling it a security, so it's good for Pulsechain. So you can amicus in that right case now. Many believe the fact pattern to be even better. So that was from Richard about that. Very good news there for Pulsechain. That was from Richard today. The actual dismissal, we read that out, was it 2 days ago? Very, very cool. Looking really good for much better case for Richard Hart as we expected, and particularly the Securities Commission looking really weak on their alter ego argument, which they basically backed out of. So that's going to make them look weak in front of the judge there. So good news already, moving in favor of Richard Hart versus SEC there. So that's kind of where we are. That came out last week, and of course, good news there for that. And of course, we've got the oral arguments coming up on the 24th of October. So that's ticking away, right? So let's see how many days that is away. That is currently 59 days. So we've got it under 2 months now, countdown for the oral hearing. And of course, that's going to be in New York, and a lot of Hexkins and Pulsekins and other people are going to be there for that. We very well might start having a rally push up here. Rather than moving sideways, we might actually have a little bit of rally moving into that. So we'll be looking for that. Maybe even get some whale support moving us up. That could be definitely in scenario. Currently at 43.63 on the daily for the RSI. And of course, we'll benefit from interest rates and general crypto as well. Now, we may not get an answer from the judge on this case, whether they dismiss all or some of the SEC arguments. And of course, that we may not hear that till 30 to 90 days afterwards. So it could be December, January before we get a hearing an answer from that and seeing where that is all at. So just remember that that's definitely out there. It also doesn't mean we don't get any magic carp ride activity in here as well, despite the ETH price being below 3,700. Especially once we get in a rally, if we have a hyper rally and Ethereum does blow past 3,700, then game on, right? Game on. You never know. Just never know what the playbook's going to be for the magic carp ride. But that is where we are at the moment. A lot of weak hands have been shaken out, and so we did a big seller the other day, but I think he's pretty much out of PulseX. I think it was PulseX he was selling down. All right, so let's jump over to the weekly. Let's go quickly to the weekly. I don't want to spend too much time on this today, but the weekly there, the RSI is pretty chill, down at 35 on the weekly there, so great accumulation zone for Pulse. Moving to PulseX quickly, we're going to be real quick on this on the weekly. We're holding up pretty nicely. We've got our angular support on PulseX. And we're holding sideways there, so it'd be really nice to keep holding this. So hopefully we just keep zigzagging up this yellow line. We've definitely got a very clear compared to Pulse. We've got a very clear higher low, so everything's going pretty well. And of course, we're at 4.75% of PulseX has been bought up and burned, so that's going pretty nicely. And we're sitting at 40 on the RSI for the weekly. So far so good. Moving to daily, let's have a quick zoom in on that. At daily, we're looking for a bullish cross here with the moving averages. We haven't got that yet. We had a death cross down here. Well, it's kind of a minor death cross there down here. So far, though, holding up pretty well. So PulseX performing pretty good. If we look at PulseX versus Pulse, has been a winning move, right? So that is the weekly chart. Obviously, clearly, PulseX has been going up against Pulse, and it was way down here, right? So it was only worth a quarter of a pulse. So every PulseX would only get you a quarter of a pulse. Now it gets you half a pulse, and it was actually as high as 1/16 of the pulse. So that has been the winning move. If you moved out of Pulse into PulseX, that would have been your winning move, especially if you want to move back in, right? So that is the play on PulseX at the moment. INC has been obviously a stellar performer, making yield farming very, very attractive. Once again, the only threat is if we do get a breakout and Pulse in that to the upside, you probably want to exit the farms, because if you want to do that, if you're not interested in the income, because you will get permanent loss and you won't make the capital upside, right? You'll end up with more stable coins and less Pulse. So just remember that if it does break to the upside. At the moment, 50,500 sitting right in the middle almost of that range. Looking very, very good indeed. RSI down at 42. INC. Hex, of course, not going to say too much about this as well. Like Pulsechain, pretty much in an accumulation zone right at the bottom. And so, yeah, that's all it. Accumulate on EHEX, PHEX and HEX. EHEX a bit stronger there. Remember, Hex on Pulsechain is the magic carp ride chain. That's the only thing I'd mention there. And, of course, EHEX has the pancakes wall up at 7/10 of a penny. I don't think that's moved at all. So that's kind of the play. And let's go to Hex derivatives. Hex derivatives at the moment, we've got Hydra and Acosa up on Ethereum, up 1.4% each. I think we may be waiting for something from Alex McFitter about 2.0. We'll wait and see what happens there. And stable coins at the moment. What else is happening here? PXDC is the only one real moving. We'll look at the speculative coins. So PDI at the moment, just under 2/10 of a penny. And of course, LUSD, we're really it was fun at the beginning, but we haven't really seen the action versus the promises there. It is ticking away, but yeah, I think PDI would be the better speculative one there. Yeah, maybe just a couple $100 maybe at the most, throw at that and see where it goes at the moment. Or you know, there's better opportunities out there at the moment, so it may be something you leave for later once we get a Pulsechain turnaround there. Jacob, let's go to the influencer coins. The better move there, Bromance from Ben Armstrong. It's up 4% today. That's kind of it. Yeah, the two Ben coins there. Look, Ben V1 are there as well. We haven't got Ben V2 on Pulsechain, right? Because it wasn't forked over. It was launched afterwards. But we've got Ben V1, and we've got this new one there, Bromance. So that's sitting up 4%. The next big performer, honorable mention there, Note Token from Randy Alaski, down 0.25% at the moment. The one that we're picking for the pickup for the end of the year with the new game going to be launching on it, right? And it's not Rocket, is it? It's the other one, Crash Game. It's going to be a multi-chain Crash Game launching on SolidX. Could be one of the two big game fights. Could rival even Mafia. Who knows? We shall see. But SolidX coming out there. That's at $17.38. Has moved up from $15. So there's already a bit of buying going in there. It's definitely potential that could go to the moon. Remember when it first launched in the first 8 days, it went to $263. Let's go have a look at the chart on that, just so you can see what I mean. So on the chart there, it rallied all the way up to on the 10th of April to $263, and it has got a slight uptrend in it, consolidating here, a little bit of resistance at $17, but this has gone up the last couple of days, as you can see, and maybe that there gone up last a little wee while. Maybe once we get closer into the end of the year, that could be a real big move on there. Remember, that's by Randy Alaski's whale friend, Fire Whale. So there we go at the moment. RSI not too bad at 50 at the moment, so still plenty of upside there. All right, that is pretty much it on those. Let's have a quick look at Pulsechain overall. Let's scroll down. We're going to get into TitanX ecosystem next. That's coming up, our third section today. So let's do that. We've got the total volume at the moment, 6.4 million. It is a weekend. It's pretty much the same as we had during the weekdays lately. So, but not much. But it's probably good in that sense. It's kind of similar to the weekdays. So we can't complain. Transactions way low, of course, on a Sunday. 153,000. So that's below our normal 2 to 250 that we've been seeing recently. Looking at the top trendings there, this Bitcoin Cash up again. This one launched and up 58%. Not sure who's driving that. Very small liquidity on that, but someone's driving that there. Kumamon there, another one up 36%. Another little random meme coin there. Haven't been following that too much either. It's only 7 days old, whereas the Bitcoin Cash is only 10 months old, so it's not a fork. So got a few people running some projects. PermaGift there, is up 11.6%. So one of the bigger teams, Hex Orange address for Tangang up 5%. And the Greys there have been crushing it, haven't they? The Greys have been crushing it. So just some of the better project teams performing extremely well on the old Pulsechain. This is the PDGC, and it's had a nice little rally. It was down at 4.0 1700, now at 4.0 3625. So really nice gain in there. Solid project. One of the better ones on the Pulsechain. That's doing very well. Now it's got Dial and it's got the UFO token and other things like that. So really doing well. We have interviewed one of the team members on that a while back. So that's kind of the honorable mentions there today, all around 5% or more. So I think we'll leave there. We'll actually mention Hex Diamond actually is up 5%, 4.7%. So honorable mention to Hex Diamond out there as well. Of course, they have the NFTs, right? So that's taken away. All right, that is it for that. Let's go back to the Pulsechain. And we're going to go into the day 472 has just started. Well, let's have a look how the gas prices are going at the moment. 137,000 beats on Pulse, so pretty low, not too bad. 0.2 of a penny for a PulseX swap, 1/100th of a penny for a PulseCoin transfer, 3/100th of a penny for a PRC20 transfer. Gwei on Ethereum has been 1 or below. I've seen it at 0.7. So Gwei on Ethereum is just insane. Like I said, I think it's, given the market conditions at the moment, the weekend, and also the second layers dominating the volume. Ethereum a victim of its own success with proto-dank sharding, and of course, but the money will flow. The money's the number one at the end of the day, where the money's flowing. So we probably will see it flow into Ethereum as the market starts heating up towards that 100K Bitcoin. It's not it's certainly going to rally pretty hard there. Let's go over to the validators. Jump over there. We've got 48,425 validators on Pulsechain, 1.55 trillion off the market. We've been pretty steady around that number, haven't we, for months, a few months now. So that's pretty solid. Like I say, the best time, where Pulse is cheap is to pick up 32 million Pulse. You can become your own solo validator, or you can get NFTs, the DGN NFTs, which I think somewhere like 68 to 70 of those equates to one $32 million solo validator. The bridge at the moment, 93.8 million. So we've pretty much been in this ballpark, the last couple of days between 92, 94 million. So pretty much in that part, but this is on the upper side. So not too bad there with the old bridge. We can't wait to get back over 100 million and beyond. That's kind of the play. So that's kind of where we are there at the moment. We're going to be starting, obviously. Let's have a quick look at Hex here. We've got Hex numbers out. That is pretty much it. 29. Now we haven't got the Hex numbers out yet, so we can't talk about those. But back the other day we had 7.19 on Pulse and 7.383 there on Ethereum. I do honorable mention, of course, 21st of August we did have a massive re-rate in the share rate there on Ethereum, 253. Now, we don't know what the OA is going to do with these share rates. I mean, they could do some pumping if they do some mass staking or something like that, or they could do mass staking, or they could do some sort of other sort of burning. We don't know what sort of tricks the OA is going to do moving up into the future. We can speculate scenarios, but we also got the end of the year, right? We've got the first chance that the 10-year miners for Hex can early in stake, and that will depend on the price. But the price could be absolutely amazing if we get this rally in Bitcoin. And we get a breakup of Pulsechain as well, post-October into December, into the new year. Then we could see a lot of those 10 years start penalizing. T-shares will go down dramatically. So there's lots of scenarios could play out. We're going to have a fun time. I said to you, it's going to be fun on the next 6 to 9 months in the crypto market and on Pulsechain. That's kind of where we are there at the moment. So kind of cool. That's going to lead us into PulsePredict. I'm not sure if we've got any answers on that yet. So let's see what comments we got on that one. We've got Trev in the house there. Great work, Superman. We are getting close to some solid love there from the Dominican Republic. Appreciate it, Trev. Appreciate that. Brendan says, Crash Game was addictive on Free Pulse. Yeah, it is a pretty addictive game. One of the most popular casino games online. I know on BetFury, it's really cool to play on BetFury. Crash Game, it's pretty good. So I think, and it's going to be multi-chain too, Brendan. So that could be huge for Solid X. So definitely something to think about picking up out of all those influencer coins at the moment. Definitely that, and then I would say Randy Alaski's note token is looking pretty good too. We dropped off Maddie Allen's, right? No liquidity on that one, and that's just the way it goes. What was the other one? Was Fashion Coda. Fashion Coda's doing some interesting stuff out there, but launching that token was it Bestie on Solana. I don't know why she just didn't do it on Pulsechain. It still boggles my mind. Can you read the mind? was going to say something, but it might have been controversial. We're no drama channel. But yeah, God keep Trump safe, says Trev. Absolutely, that's true. And JFK, didn't they? The Biden administration took away the Secret Service for the Kennedy, right? So yeah, these guys are up to a terrible game. So I tell you what, these people are just they got no shame whatsoever. All right, so that's it. Let's get into Wookie. Let me know if there's any update on PulsePredict because that has finished, right? So PulsePredict here. This is one of Jacob's ecosystem projects, and of course we're a big supporter of Jacob's projects, including Mafia and PulsePot and others. We're looking for PUSD ALGO. I think that's the biggest project that he's got. Hope he gets that out before the bull market. You've got to get it while people are around, right? When the money's being made, the people are out and about. You can't do it during a bear market, right? Even for a stablecoin, because you want people to use it, right? They've got to know about it, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, hopefully he gets the PUSD ALGO out in due course. We got prediction protocol there for Pulsechain. That is PulsePredict. So if you don't know, it's kind of like a sports betting site and prediction site. So it's kind of a combo. But the cool thing about it, it's peer-to-peer, right? So there's no humans involved. Like even good sites like Betfury, there's no sites in there. So it's peer-to-peer prediction on chain. So it's brilliant, right? True DeFi, and we love that on Pulsechain, right? True DeFi, PulsePredict.io, and people can earn their tokens, right? So the token hasn't launched yet, but we are looking forward to an update. Remember that it had a 60-day delay, and so had a 60-day delay, and of course that has finished. It expired today. In fact, it's expired only 37 minutes ago. So let's have a look at the website. This is PulsePredict. You can see that the claim page shows that we've got negative seconds there because the 60-day extension has already wound down. I'm hoping that we don't have a second delay because 60 days is already a pretty decent delay. So we'll see what happens there. We are expecting an update from Jacob and the team today. I think it is. What's Wookie saying? No update yet. We'll keep a tabs on that. We may get the update tomorrow. We'll see how it goes, maybe after the live stream, just the way it goes. Now, at the moment, of course, people are betting on sports bets. So people have been doing that. The next one coming up, of course, is the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight, which are going to be pretty epic. And, of course, we've had lots of past sporting events there as well. So you can see all those in the hit there. Some famous fighters there. And, of course, we've also got price predictions. So you can do price predictions on here. And now people can do this anytime they want. They can actually create their own. You can just create your own bet there, see, and make it all. And then people can come in and bet against that. So it doesn't look like there's any open bets at the moment. You can also earn the token, which people have been doing by doing a lot of different tasks. Some of them are free tasks. Some of them are betting tasks. And then, of course, you do that, you get on the leaderboard, and you can earn some PulsePredict tokens, right, which have not yet launched, traded yet. We're hoping they're going to trade soon and not have another delay. But, we're not in control of this, so they've got to do things that they feel are right about launching this project for the best, bet optimal play. We can see Black Girl and John Anthony are the top two. They've been betting, over $1,000, $700 there at the top. And every time, because they're sitting in this top 50 spots, they get paid a bit of daily run. Oh, it's actually quite a lot, actually, 150,000, 120,000 respectively, and they're getting paid that every day. So we don't want another extension. These guys they keep getting paid all this extra stuff. So there we go. And they just have to sit there. They don't actually bet anymore. They just have to hold those positions. So the top 50 there get paid. So you can sort of see, come down to the top 50, they get 10,000 at the bottom. So it just depends on where you are on that list. But the top 2, 3 are getting tons of coins. And of course, here we are with everyone below that is on the list there. So at the moment, how many are there? There's 4,236 ranked players. Many of these will be people that did, sacrifices for Jacob. So that's ticking away there. And you can see the next reward drop is in 23 hours. So that's playing away. And you can still participate in this. So if you want to get out and do that, I'll post the link to the leaderboard there if you want to participate and try and pick up some of those tokens. Hopefully we'll get a launch on the token. I hope the token launches and they get moving on that. So that is the link there. And yeah, you can go to the earn tab, start earning, connect your wallet up and go for gold. And of course, the claim at the moment, if you did part of the sacrifices, you probably would have got some credits. There are 4 ways of getting it. The sacrifices activity, of course, doing betting and things. Staking, if you staked tokens before, you could also do that too. Not sure if that's still in there. PulsePot, yeah, I think PulsePot. And of course, if you had some NFTs from some of the projects there, like TRH and TYZZ or things like that. You might have got some bonus for those two. We can't claim yet because obviously you got to connect your wallet, and the timer has timed down. So we're looking forward to that. That is the next big thing. So that's our third section. I thought we only had 3 sections. We've got 4 sections today. So that is PulsePredict. Hopefully we'll get that launched today. Maybe we'll see what the update's going to be from the team. Maybe they'll do another smaller delay. Maybe not 60 days. Maybe they'll do a smaller one if they're not ready. We'll see. But anyway, that is where we are on PulsePredict, which brings us to TitanX, which we're going to talk about. So I hope you guys enjoy that. We've got Craig Pittenhouse. Morning all. Hey, Craig. Good to see you. And cheers. Chin chin. All right. Let's get into it. So TitanX, section number 4. Now, I wish I had one of those little things, you know, sometimes on the sports shows, they tab through the different topics. I might try and do something like that. Seems like a good idea. All right, so let's get into it, and let's go into the TitanX. So if you guys are not familiar, this is on Ethereum. The founder of this, of course, the TitanX is Jake Sharp, formerly a well-known Pulsechain Hex YouTuber as well. Obviously very good at programming and has a good team there, and you know, pretty well known. Let's say that. So he's obviously set up his own ecosystem, done some tokenomics tweaks, including going big on the buy and burn, and of course that's exciting to see that. Marvelous start to the TitanX. You know, tens of millions of dollars inside the buy and burn, so it's got all that buying power already built into the system. It's, you know, master move. And the second thing, of course, is having second layer and third layer protocols on top of that, all buying and burning, sitting at LPs and buying, burning on V3s and things like that. So lots of cool, clever tokenomics and setups there. And you can see that the projects now are really starting to run away. We've already got a number launched. DragonX is the number 1 there. Hyper as well is also a great leverage play. Helios doing well. Furno is still live, so every week it has a new intake of tokens, and last time it was huge, 700 billion TitanX. So all these second layer protocols, so number 2 downwards, are generally using TitanX. You know, if they're a third layer protocol, they're normally using the same token, like maybe Helios as a third layer protocol will use Helios, but sometimes they use TitanX as well, depending on how they're set up. So TitanX is being used for all these other protocols, which makes TitanX supply get scarce, right? So it's either getting burned or it's getting a locked in LP, all sorts of things like that. So that's what's happening with TitanX there. And so all these projects. So you can see we've got quite a few projects live, including all the way up to 9. So we've got 8 projects live here on top of TitanX, but we've got a whole ton that are going to be launching, including Shogun it's another Jake project. Oro Bros, that's a really cool project, looking at stable coins and things like that. Pretty neat. Pulsar, which looks like it's going to be on Pulsechain as well. Blaze Wars, Chimps. I think these are all games, these ones. And then we get into some of the heavyweights here. So this is on DragonX, going to have Titan Farms. It's going to be a bit later, maybe in the new year, maybe, as incentives for DragonX. Super bullish there. The Guardians, another Titan Guardians, another project. Titan Fire is another cool project as well. Good ROI protocol there. And then we've got 3 new ones here, right? Flux, Element280, and Vault. So these have just come into the line. These last 2, 19 and 20, just in the last 24 hours. And this Flux just in the last couple of days. They've all added to it. And Element280 has got a launch in October, right? Now, the other thing, I'm not sure if this is going to be Shogun, but X28 is coming. It's another project that's going to be launching in October. So you could see at least 2 here, Element280 in October and X28, which is going to be massive. That's from from Jake Sharp, and that's going to be coming out as well. It's going to be a big deal. So you can quickly see that TitanX is going to become scarce, right? It's kind of like a layer 1 chain, and on top of Ethereum, and it's got its own ecosystem, and of course it's going to be burned off and also stuff. But TitanX will become very scarce, and it's going to happen within weeks. So it's getting pretty crazy. The other thing that's not on here is Hydra. Hydra is coming on TitanX, so you can see Titan Farms and Hydra coming on to DragonX there, and DragonX is already scarce. It is a super whale in the TitanX ecosystem. In other words, it staked tons of TitanX and makes gets the ETH from that, and then goes and does more buys more TitanX and buy and burns more DragonX. So DragonX is pretty scarce, and it's going to have a new protocol called Hydra coming up in the first week of September. That's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to just elevate that again. So recently, DragonX, of course, had a massive re-rate on the price. People were making mad money with tens of X's on that. So it's been pretty exciting. with the old DragonX. These are stuff that we talk about in our strategy club. So if you haven't joined our strategy club, link is in the video description. $35 a month, and you can get a lot of intel and insights with that from us in the strategy club. We are very all over these projects, so definitely well worth doing. Links in the video description. Let's see what else. So I was going to get into that. So let's have a quick look at these new projects. We've got FLUX at the moment. We're going to have a quick look at that. They've got their white papers here, right? So you can go in and have a quick look at that too. Looks like they've got some summary white pages. So there we are. What is FLUX? Introducing FLUX Protocol, a groundbreaking platform that redefines the auction experience by integrating buy pressure into every transaction. So these have kind of like ROI protocols, but also have flywheels in them. And you see TitanX ecosystems is adding more flywheels, LPs, and all that, all burning TitanX. You can sort of see how the thing really gets pretty exciting. So with this revolutionary approach, the FLUX team has forever transformed how auctions operate, setting up a new standard for TitanX ecosystem beyond. Using liquid TitanX, so that's the input, that layer one, you can participate in daily auctions, which will automatically buy FLUX on the market within the same transaction. This dual action process not only will maximize efficiency, but also strengthens market demand. FLUX is an ROI ARB monster. So fully decentralized immutable FLUX protocol ensures trustless, secure code and transparency. And of course, making a powerful tool evolving in the TitanX ecosystem. FLUX is the flywheel TitanX is looking for. So very excited about that. And you've got a cool tokenomics summary down the bottom here, looking very cool. So our auction ROI monster on a hyper-deflationary asset, Inferno. So obviously building on top of Inferno there, you can see Inferno is already launched. And over here, and Inferno is live at the moment as well. It's also burning tons of, or taking in tons of the TitanX as well. Every week, Inferno as a auction. It is currently one of the projects live. So it's got cycle 6 starts in 4 days and 13 hours. The last cycle, cycle 5, did 700 billion TitanX, bigger than the previous time, which was about 330. So yeah, massive upside there for that. So yeah, this is a bit of a monster. So coming in on that one's going pretty awesome. Now you can obviously read the whole white paper yourself. I'm not going to go through that at the moment, but they're going to have auctions, of course. And let me scroll down here. They've got cool flow charts, so you can understand that. So you can check out the flow chart, see you put TitanX in and see how it flows through the system. Kind of cool. And then we've also got Element280. So this is just launched. This has been added, I should say. This is launching in October. And so mega bullish here for Element280. So a quick look at that. Obviously, you can follow them on X there as well. So you can follow them on there. They've just launched, so remember that. Also got Telegram. Let's have a quick look at their little white paper. So I haven't actually looked at this. I'm just opening this up live. I haven't actually checked this one yet. So you've got Element280. It's coming soon. They're going to have obviously all their gears here. The diagram of the Helios ecosystems is going to be built on top of the Helios there, and so on. So we're waiting for that to come out. This is related to Helios there. So just like the other one was related to Inferno, this is related to the Helios one. So you'll be able to see that too. All right. So yeah, you'll be able to check all that out when it comes out. So that's coming. And then the final one is going to be Vaults. Let's have a quick look at the paper for that. What is Vault? Power lightning fast deflation with electrifying buy and burn. Vault, built on TitanX, is a hyper-deflationary token with a unique auction system. It features a cap supply with all tokens distributed in the first 10 days. So it's going to be very different, a bit more like DragonX, with all the inflation comes out at the beginning, and then you go, well, that was like a 12-week process. You get it out. This is even faster, 10 days, and then triggering full deflation afterwards. Vault utilized 84% of the system value to buy tokens, splitting them between the burn address and the Vault for future auctions. Vault's features 84% of TitanX value used to buy the Vault. Inflationary token used in auctions, full the token distribution in 10 days. So this is going to be pretty interesting. Maybe these are all ROI type protocols, and they all have different tweaks in that, trying to get the best outcome, right? Squeeze out the best outcome. So they are speculative, but they're all built on that TitanX. And of course, for the underlying asset TitanX, it's super bullish there. And if you're participating, you're trying to get these high income returns off in a short period of time as well. The Vault ensures perpetual auctions with deflationary tokenomics, and so it's got all the different tokenomics on here. There's going to be buy pressure 84%, Titan burn 4%, Flux burn 3%, Helios Treasury 1%, and Genesis Wallet 8%. So you can see that the Helios Inferno team is absolutely crushing it there with some new protocols adding into their mix. So really leading the way on the ROI protocols there. Not too bad. They're obviously going to LP pool. LP is formed when the first $500 comes in the auction, so it starts off very early and is paired with 5 million Vault tokens, and it creates a starting price of a 1/10 of a penny there. The main LP pair will be Vault TitanX. I think that's really exciting to see that, and so on. So you can see how TitanX is getting all this user demand from all these protocols, and of course through these ROI auction houses, and of course all the projects got different tweaks on the theme. Some putting the benefit out further, etc. Some of them having all inflation come out straight away rather than over a year or 6 months or 3 months or whatever. There's lots of different stuff happening there. Pretty cool. The entire token's out in 10 days. I think it's going to be fun to see how this plays out as well. And obviously, it's got a lot more details in there. You can read through the vault and the deflationary mechanism as well. Daily buy and burn. Pretty cool. The process ensures permanent reduction until supply. So there we go on that. All right. And you can see a buy and burn build there as well. You can read all those details as well. We're just doing a bit of just a fly overview of these. So cool to see. FLUX, Element280, and Vault. Now, the other one, of course, we've got is Hydra. I actually even pulled it up. So let me pull that up quickly. And let's have a look at Hydra there. I think I might have even reposted that. So let me have a look at that. Have I got that down here? I do. So let's copy that and pull it over. And bam. Let's paste that. And bam. All right, let's go. All right. Oh, I can't pull it up because it's not showing. Oh well, that's not fun. So Hydra is coming from TitanX, and that's coming out soon. So that's looking pretty positive. Let's see if we can even see it on here, because I'm not letting me have data use yet because I've been suspended on that account. So yeah, TitanX got Hydra coming. So that's the 4th project. Going to be absolutely massive. And of course, in addition to that, I guess is the 5th project there. If it's not Shogun, it's X28, which is going to be epic from Jake himself. So TitanX and TitanX and all the X systems there looking absolutely hot. Now, let's go have a look at the prices because I want to have a quick look at the price chart for TitanX and talk about this quickly. So let's have a look at that. How are we doing? 52 minutes on the hour, not bad. So TitanX is on the daily. This thing's really about to fly, folks. It really is ticking away. It is getting very, very close to full-on takeover, right? So TitanX total supply is going to be out by probably just after September. We're going to have the bulk of it. The bulk of it. There's still a bit more coming out in October and November. Not much relative to September. September really is the last month of high inflation, and it's going to move well before that, right? It's going to move well before that. We've obviously got Hydra launching first week of September on TitanX. It's going to be bullish. And then we've obviously on the 19th of September we have the Vortex launching. So really, it's just about game over. I think there's only a couple of weeks to get in at relatively cheap prices, maybe 2-3 weeks possible at max. I really do feel by the time we get to mid-September and that Vortex on the 19th, the Vortex is the hyper buy and burn. That's adding another buy and burn. So we've got a couple buy and burns with hundreds of millions of dollars. So we got a V2 at the moment on TitanX. We got the hyper buy and burn at the moment. We're about to get the Vortex part of the hyper buy and burn activated on the 19th. Going to buy TitanX and push the price up, so you can sort of see. And then we've got all these second layer protocols launching in October and onwards. You can see that the supply is going to disappear very quickly for TitanX, and the price is going to do some pretty big re-rating there. So it's pretty exciting. So you can find out more, of course, in our strategy club. So you can join that. Links in the video description. It is $35 a month, so really good value there. Looking for huge potential upsides here. So you can see TitanX at the moment. It's just starting to rally up, but this thing is really going to start mooning. This is going to be some impressive things here at the moment on the old TitanX. So not bad there. You can also see TitanX has also been moving up fairly aggressively and had a massive tens of X's re-rate, which has been absolutely spectacular. And you can see that re-rate there is huge, right? So let's have a quick look at the ruler there. And you're talking at the top of the move, a re-rate of 3,000%. So 30X there. Absolutely massive, right? Some mad money made. Still up 18x, so 19x there. So amazing, 800% there, the 3,000%, and that was inside a week or so. So a couple of weeks, sorry, and was it 3 weeks, 4 weeks? So some pretty mad stuff there. We also see Hyper as well, which is currently operating, and that's got a buy and burn as well. Like I said, Hyper is doing pretty well. So just to let you know that Hyper at the moment has got the buy and burn. So this buy and burn is operating. It's got 108 ETH in there. It's doing very well. It's back in the profit too. So people can mine profitably on Hyper, 119%. Things are about to get lit with this old TitanX system. So the buy and burn is operating at the moment. So we've got the V2 from TitanX. We've got this one as well. It's looking pretty amazing. And soon we're going to have the Vortex on the 19th September. So you can see there's very little time to get in on TitanX in the next couple of weeks. And people aren't selling the TitanX, so relatively speaking. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Another $782,000 coming into the buy and burn. 3 buy and burns operating. Insano. And of course, then later we've got towards the end of the of October, we have another buy and burn coming in. So things are really getting set, and we've got more protocols launching as well. They're going to be entering, sucking out TitanX from the supply side. So going to be pretty exciting. As you can see, just to let your hand all off, this is all the inflation left. Not much. By the time we get to the 19th, that's when we've got another buy and burn coming in. Got a new protocol coming in September here. And then we've got all these protocols in October. And then, of course, out the end of the 30th of October there, we've got the big stakers payout, millions of dollars coming out there. And so that's going to be huge. It's going to be game on. It is about as good as it gets. You can find out more details, of course, in our strategy club. Links in the video description. 65 days till the 369 payout. It's going to be pretty exciting. Things are about to get lit on here, and that's all we can say. It's about as good as probable as you can get. Only a few weeks to accumulate, really. By mid-September, if you haven't got in, and so be it. But once again, not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. But exciting times. If you want to find out more, get into our strategy club. Links in the video description. $35 a month to join up with that. All right. I was going to say one more thing about TitanX. So let's go in there, and we can see that the buy and burn on TitanX at the moment, V2, which is currently burning. So we've got those hyper burns. We've got this burn. We're about to have the Vortex added in there as well. And then later on, the big staker payout. We're going to look at that at the moment. $2.9 million still in the V2. 1,055 ETH. And this may get filled up potentially. We will see how Jake does that. But this could get even more once we get back to mining. So TitanX mining is not profitable at the moment, -67. Once the price goes up, this will, like Hyper did. Hyper was unprofitable, it became profitable, and then people started mining again. Now we've got over 108 ETH in there, adding to the buy and burn. If this gets, the price goes up just that much percentage, then this is going to become profitable again, and we'll have people coming through this as well. So you see, this is about to go through takeoff, maybe like a takeoff we've never seen before in crypto. This is quite a unique system that Jake Sharp has put together, and it's really in the golden zone now. Right, so it's going to be pretty crazy. The other thing, of course, is that the buy and burn at the moment, $2.9 million. The V1 is still sitting there. It's got 12.3 million. That's at the current price of Ethereum. Imagine Ethereum going up another 2x or 3x. Then huge amount of money in here. It's got 4,500 ETH sitting in there as well. That can be turned on at any time. The rate that the buy and burn can be changed at any time as well. And of course, then on top of all this, we've got the payouts coming up. And the payout has got 369, which is only 65 days away, almost in the countdown. It's got 6.8, almost $6.9 million in it, 2,500 ETH. And we know that DragonX, the big giant wild DragonX protocol, is going to be burning, is going to be getting about 36% of that. And so it's going to have a huge amount of that money. So we can actually go and have a look for that on Titan Watch and see how big that whale is of DragonX and why that's doing exciting. And of course, DragonX has also got its own project, Hydra, coming in early September. So you guys can see it's going to be absolutely lit, right? So we've got DragonX here. We can see that DragonX has got out of that money there. So we've got $6.9 million at the current price of Ethereum. DragonX has had $2.5 million. Don't forget, if we get this bull run started in October through to Christmas, maybe heading towards a Bitcoin 100K, things are going to happen very fast in crypto. This is the golden lock zone that we're looking for, right? And re-rates are going to be tremendous. And of course, this has got all this locked-in system buy and burn and things like that, and more coming. That's insane. So $2.5 million sitting in there, and we know that about 45% approximately of that's going to go and buy and burn DragonX, right? So, buy and burn TitanX, and get paid out and go buy and burn TitanX and put that into the slowly burn that. And of course, stake that. It's going to buy 45% and stake that. And then the other 45%, it's going to go and buy TitanX and put it to buy Hyper and burn Hyper. So that's kind of the play there. So Dragon X is going to become very, very scarce indeed, relatively speaking. So some good stuff there on that one, and that's coming up as well. And don't forget, further out, we've got the 888, still got $3 million in there as well. So this game keeps going into the future, but really, we're coming into really superstar Goldilocks zone there right now. What's the stats for the supply of TitanX? Well, 32.96% liquid supply with there's 454 trillion liquid, but majority of people are just not selling, and because they see the end picture, right, that we saw. There's not much flash in September, really. A little bit in October, a little bit in November, but really September's it, and game on, right? Game on. So that is the TitanX all playing out. So this is going to be mega, mega, mega. Obviously trending in the top 30 on Ethereum. I think it's going to be trending in the top 10, if not the number one for in the months ahead. So keep a lookout for that. You want to pick chicken winners, and this is a chicken dinner winner for sure. So doing pretty well there. Now you can find out more details, of course, in our strategy club. Links in the video description. $35 a month to join that, and you get lots more alpha around all this stuff happening. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, Wookie's posted this link. Good one there, Wookie. Strategy club today, and join up and become part of the community. We've got Brian in house there. Hey, Brian, good to see you. He's coming in with the oopsies. He must have dropped maybe did you drop your beer? Or are you watching the sports, Brian? I don't know. All right, so that's kind of where we are there at the moment. Hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. That's just an overview. So more protocols launching on TitanX Hub, 20 plus, plus the other one, X28, Hydra, 22. The thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger. TitanX is going to get scarcer and scarcer. It's going to be insane in the membrane. And of course, we have a bull run kicking off, September, October. Man, this thing is going to be legit. And it doesn't have to ask where the buying power is coming. It's already got lots of the buying power looked at in the system. It's got speculators are starting to come in now too. And that supply side with all these second layer protocols and third layer protocols are starting to take away the supply. 54 trillion at the moment. Yeah, probably going to get, maybe another 20 or something like that on the other side. And then it's all going to be disappear pretty quickly. And you got Inferno operating, right, weekly as well. Don't forget all this buying. We've got Inferno. And last time it took 700 billion. So pretty exciting stuff happening in the old TitanX system. Certainly one of the winners of this bull market. It is locked and loaded. All right, let's see here. Yeah, join up Strategy Club today. There we go. That's the link there. All right, what else are we going to talk about? I think that's it. An hour and 2 minutes. I think it's pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed today's coverage. We covered crypto markets. We covered Pulsechain. We covered PulsePredict from Jacob. Hopefully we'll get some news on that. Have it for you tomorrow. And, of course, we also covered the TitanX ecosystem as an overview. Hope you guys enjoyed some insights from there. Looking pretty fun. All right, if you want to find out more details, like I said, join the Discord. We've got a really great bunch of people in there and great information. So get in on that one. All right, what else? I think that's it. Brian's got one more comment. Wookie says, Brian, the travel agent in the house. Yeah, he's been traveling quite a bit, even to Niagara Falls, where Superman used to be once upon a time. And all right, take care, everybody. Let's play out some cool videos. Magic Carp ride time. We know that's going to happen at some stages as well on the old Pulsechain. So peace out, everybody. Take care, and I'll catch you again tomorrow and with another day of awesome market updates. Bye for now. Enjoy your weekend.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.